next topic is IAM Identity Center. Earlier we keep on saying a single sign-on. So let's talk about this scenario. Before we jump into the scenario, just want to give a high-level overview what exactly this IAM Identity Center or single sign-on. So single sign-on is nothing but your identity center is nothing but which can provide centralized identity management and single sign-on access to multiple AWS accounts, applications, and third-party services. I mean to say it is only applicable to for multi-account setups. Mostly it's a if it is couple of accounts, not required to move on, start configuring this. But it's normally in the real time when there is more than one accounts, kind of a 10, 15, 20, 30 accounts. How you are going to manage? You want to centralize all the accounts in one console. So in that scenario, we normally configure the centralized access management with the help of the IAM Identity Center. So most are the what exactly are the why you are going to use will perform in the lab. I mean, sorry, why you are going to use will discuss in the scenario, and again for that will perform in the lab. Before jumping to that, you understand what are the key features for this IAM Identity Center. One is centralized access management. I mean, manage access to AWS organizations and external applications from a single locations. Second, you can say it's a supports multiple identity resource like identity resource in the sys. I said not identity sources. Like now AWS is having identity center. This is the one IAM Identity Center. This is AWS provides. Other than there is some external identity providers like your AWS. I mean, say Azure Active Directory or Active Directory. You can say directly. Third one is like other IDPs like your Okta, uh, Azure AD is there, and your other one login is there. They all are all these are coming under the separate IDP. They are the market leader. Okta, Azure AD, your one login, and all of these identity provider everyone they use either SAML or OIDC. This is the authentication mechanism, right? So, but here in the lab, we don't have an external source over here. Anyway, I'm going to show you by using the AWS Identity Center. This is their identity providers. Okay, this is their IDP. This is the IDP for the from the AWS. Okay, so in the real time, you might be checking instead of even again I can give you some quick examples like in the real time environment when you access to your internal application, let's say 10, 15 websites URL you access, right? You access with the same username password, that is called single sign-on. That is what we are doing. That means that is authenticated through SAML. Mostly the SAML is quite popular. This is the mechanisms, authentication mechanism. SAML is the authentication mechanism. But this identity provider, AWS identity provider, or you can say IAM Identity Center, this is called IDP. This is called IDP. IDP in the sense it's an external identity provider. And IAM Identity Center, it is the provider by AWS. This is IAM Identity Center. External identity provider is coming under your AWS, I mean, sorry, Active Directory, Azure Active Directory, Azure AD, you can say, your one login. These are coming under external identity provider called as IDP. And all these external identity provider, they use SAML authentications. And the same kinds of setup or scenario everyone use in their real-time environment, in their office environments. Okay. This is one of the key features. And next one is it's a role-based access control. I mean, it assign permission sets to users or groups instead of individual IAM users. That also you can set it. You can even integrate or enable MFA for all the users or on the user levels, or you can set for the account levels to authenticate the security and to authentic what I can say with to have the additional authentication layers. Okay, so these are different key features. Again, I want to highlight. One is your centralized access management. Second one is supports multiple identity source. Third is your role-based access control. Fourth is your multi-factor authentications. So these are the key features of a IAM Identity Center. Now let's say when we are going to use this. Again, I already discussed the same scenario. Again, I am coming to this point. Your organization has multiple AWS accounts managed using AWS organizations. AWS organizations, when you have more than one account, in that scenario, you have to enable your AWS organizations. And the primary account will be called as the management account, and the rest of accounts will be considered as the child accounts. So that the kind of permission you can set from the organization level. Now, as such, we are doing from the account level, each individual account levels. If you want to manage 100 accounts, Then to manage 100 accounts, we have to enable the AWS organizations. On top of this, you can set certain sorts of permissions to on the account level, on the group levels, the kind of permissions we can set up from the organization level for all 100 accounts. As such, we were doing only on the account levels. There is a separate sessions for organization, control tower, landing zone, and all. There is a separate sessions. Just for quick updates, quick knowledge. You remember when, let's say, your organization has multiple AWS accounts managed using AWS organizations, and different teams need to control access to these accounts. The security team wants to implement AWS IAM Identity Center. Okay, normally it was called as SSO. So what is we are going to perform? Provide, these are the requirements. Provide centralized authentication and access control for all AWS accounts in the organization. Allow the DevOps teams to manage EC2 and S3 service across all accounts. Grant the finance team radio. These are different requirements came into the picture. We are going to integrate, right? Multi accounts in this one dashboard, in one console. Grant the finance team radio access to AWS billing and cost management. Fourth one is enforce multi-factor authentications for all users accessing AWS accounts. Fifth one, integrate AWS IAM Identity Center with the company's existing Microsoft Active Directory or Google Workforce for authentication. Here, anyway, we are not going to use our AD uh, or any Google Workforce for authentications. We are going to use AWS native one. Okay, so let's jump into the lab. We'll see how things working over here. Before jumping in, remember first what you have to do. IAM Identity Center. You see, when you open this, by default it is not enabled. Okay, so when you'll enable it, now it's showing dashboard. The reason I have my organization already in place, I have enabled. So when you'll enable, it will ask for to enable the identity center. Once you enable, on the back end, the organization will be configured. So make sure before enabling the IAM Identity Center, your AWS organization has to be in place. Your AWS organization has to be in place. See, I have my AWS organization configured. I have two AWS accounts. This is my management account. This is my your child account. This is my child accounts. This one 3309, and this is my management account 7793. Now I have added someone, one of my team members. I have added his accounts as well. So I am managing all three accounts. From here, I can set kinds of permission from the account levels from here as well. So right. So make sure before enabling, don't worry about this control tower organizations and landing zone and all these things. There is separate session, deep dive sessions, ninja sessions. You just remember IAM Identity Center. What is this? How it works? Okay. IAM Identity. What is this? How it works? So before configuring or enabling IAM Identity Center, you have to configure your AWS organizations and make sure the respective accounts. Now here I have three accounts. In a real time, you might have hundreds of accounts. How will manage? You will manage it through AWS organization only, and you will integrate all the accounts in one consoles with the help of the IAM Identity Center by using external identity provider. If you want to use like Azure AD or Okta or OneLogins, there are some number of IDP external providers are there, right? So AWS organization already in place, Identity Center is enabled. That's all. Okay. So first, what you have to show, first what you have to check, what is the external identity source you are going to use. Go to your setting, you check. Now here you see I am using Identity Center directory, that is for AWS one. See, if you want to change the identity source, you click on here. I am using this because I have this one here with me, but I don't have any AD with me, Active Directory with me. I don't have any, external identity provider with me. If you click on external identity provider, it will start reflecting. You have to give the IDP URL and IDP URL. They like the external identity is your Okta or Azure AD or OneLogin. So those informations, the metadata information, you have to give it over here so that the console will be authenticated and integrated with the external identity provider. So we are not going to use this. We are going to the existing one which we do have already with us. Click on next. See, when I'm clicking on next, the reason it is asking identity center is already in use. That means I am already using. I have already configured like this. Just next, finish. That's all. Okay. So you see the identity source is IAM Identity Center directory. This is my identity source. Okay. How you are going to access? Once you enable this, it will generate a ID called identity store ID. Like when we are accessing a console, AWS console, we access the console like this, US Houston console, Amazon.com, right? And I have created an alias. See here, my account name is not showing because I have created alias. That's why it's showing Sridhar Sahu, because this Sridhar Sahu is mapped with these accounts. Okay, this is the one I have created. So the alias is created. Similarly, when you will enable this identity source, then it will generate a ID. This starts with a D. Again, every time when I log into the consoles, every time I cannot put a 12-digit ID, then I am username and password, right? So like this, I have created an alias so that it would be easy for me to access my consoles, right? Same like who will remember all these IDs and all. So that's why for that you can create a alias. I mentioned cloudguru.awsapps.com. Okay, this is your ID. So if you want to change it, you can change it. Okay, this is all about your authentications. Now come here, authentications. You see, you check any authentications we are using that standard authentication. There is nothing to do over here. Multi-factor. Now, if you want to enable, let's say, if I'll enable this, now it's disable multi-factor authentications. That means in my AWS organizations, whoever are there, my management account, me, and my child account, and there is one of my friends' accounts. So let's say three accounts are there. If I'll enable this multi-factor authentication, so the time they will start login, they are bound to give that will be prompted with a MFA code they before they accessing the consoles. If I'll enable, then that prompt will come. Anyway, for now, I'm just skipping this. You can do your practice on your own, and then click on management. Management sections, delegated administrators. Let's say I am managing now my organizations and identity center I am managing, right? On behalf of me, if I have trust on someone else, like he is capable enough to handle the environment in the real time, I can delegate someone as an administrator, like architect. On behalf of me, he also can manage. Okay, so I have to register that accounts. Okay, I have to register that accounts. If you want to make someone delegate as admin, and on behalf of you, if he can manage this environment, you can delegate to someone. So this is all about the features and all service been covered. Okay, now what is next? You have to go to permission sets. I have to create before I jump in and see these are the permissions. Let me delete this. Okay, yes, let's just let me clean up this first. Probably I cannot clean up because it's been already associated. Uh, yeah, it's already associated. Currently provision three AWS accounts. First, I have to remove this. I was about to clean up earlier. Yeah. Let's say click on this. See that. Go to permission set. Select this. Remove. Delete. How to clean up? Okay. Remove access. This cannot be underdone. All users groups will be lose the access granted. That's fine. User want to remove these permissions? Yes. It's not working. Yeah. See that is done. Let's smoothly also go here, select this, click on remove. I'm just removing this. This was configured earlier when I was trying to show someone. Okay, that's all. Even this one also I can remove. Okay, so now we are done. So before you assign some permissions, let's say I have created this permission. Okay, let's say B1 to full access billing. Let me remove this, not required. I think it is associated with someone. See that's smoothly. See that. Okay. How about this one? Yeah, it's a given. Let me delete this first, then I'll show you. So here I just clean up all the existing permission sets whichever was associated with these accounts. Tomorrow in future, if you want to, add more accounts in these organizations, you can go actions. I mean, here you can go actions, AWS accounts, or you can go invitations, invite AWS accounts, whichever whoever the mail ID they will give you the accounts in a real time. You keep on adding inside the organization, you can monitor everything from here. Okay. So this is how it has to be in place as part of prerequisites before you configure the SSO single sign-on, or you can say IAM Identity Center. So once the setting part is first step is setting, you have to make yourself what would be the your source identity source. I have given my identity sources identity center directory. Then what you have to do, you have to create your permission sets. What kind of permissions you are going to set? I mean create for all the account levels, count levels. Okay, not earlier you are doing on the IAM user level, group level. Okay, earlier we are doing the permissions or creating the permissions or policy that is on user level, group level, and resource level. Now we will be doing the permission set on the account levels. Even on top of this, again you want to give on the group level, that also be possible with the help of the SCP, service control policy. That is the next layer of security, like other than your IAM policy, that is the advanced layer of security after IAM. Okay, that will be covered in your again or AWS control tower organizations and landing zone and in that topic. Okay, now I'm going to create a permission set. These are the managed one, like your managed policy are there, more than 1000 policy are there, right? Similar, these are the managed permission set. You can go with this if you are fine with this. Otherwise, no, you'll think, no, I want to create a own custom policy and permission set, and I want to assign the accounts. There are three accounts now we are going to manage. One is my accounts, second one is child account. I have two accounts, and one of other accounts. Three accounts I'm going to manage. I want to set a custom permission sets to different accounts, all three accounts. If you don't want, if you want, then go create a custom permission set. If you want to go with a managed one, you select this. Let's say I'm creating managed one for quick. Let's say I'm creating one permission set that is for view only. View only means I'll give the view only access to one account. Let's say view only access to one account. I'm selecting that account. Okay, let me create the permission first, permission set first. Another one, I am going to create a, let's say billing. Let's say billing. Okay, I am going to give the billing access. Okay, click on next, click on next, click on create. Okay, let me see. Okay, now again I am going to create one policy. Let's say administrator access. I create a permission set. Let's say administrator access. Or you can say that's fine. Administrator access is fine. Click on next, click on next, click create. Okay, so three permission set I have created. Okay, again I am creating one more permission sets. Let's say uh, a read only access. Let's say okay, a read only access. Click on next, click on next, click on create. Four permission set I created. Now what I have to do? I have to assign those permission sets to the all AWS account level. I told you, right? Account level we are going to do. Let's say what I have to do? Select. Let's say I want to give a Siddharth. I want to give this guy only for billing access. Select that account. Click on assign user. Okay, and make sure you have a group. By default, the group earlier what it was created. You can assign to a group as well. And I'm nothing to. I'm doing nothing over here. Okay, so you can give from group level or user level. So these are the user, or you can say the group, whoever the part of this group, they can. Let me clean up. Like before I jump in, I want to show you something. Mm, From here, I want to show you something. Okay, this is the group actually I created earlier. Okay, I'm just deleting now. I'm deleting. Okay, we are doing from beginning now, just to avoid any confusion. I'm deleting these users. Delete. Okay, I'm deleted. Now I am going to add users. I'm creating users. So whoever they will, now there is no relation with IAM now. Okay. Earlier we are accessing to our console with IAM user. Every AWS accounts I try to log in, I'll log into that console. So I'll log in with my credential. That is with IAM user. Now I'll manage all three accounts in one user credentials. Okay. Let's say I'm giving one user one. Let's say Sidhu. Okay. That's all. Let's go with the default. That's fine. Click on next. I think it will not allow me. APC at which.com. Anything can give for now, sake of testing. Display JLBC. Click on next. Click on next. Okay. Add users. Okay. Again, I'm creating another users. Let's say Sidhu. Let's say Susri. Yes. Surya. Let's say Surya. Okay. Now, @jlbc.com. Hey, Dava, I have created another user. Uh, yeah. So we have created two users. Now let's create another group. Let's say SSO group. Group name is SSO. So I am adding these two users. Okay, part of this group. Create a groups. Okay, it's created. Now you come over here. Okay. Now go to your identity source center. Go to your AWS accounts. Let's say I'm going to assign those users. Siddharth, I'm going to assign one user. Let's say these two users, Surya and Sidhu. Surya and Sidhu. Click on next. Okay. Now Surya and Sidhu, they are the users. They are going to access these three accounts. Let's say I am giving only to not everyone, uh, not the entire groups. Let's say I'm giving permission only to Sidhu. Sidhu, that's fine. I don't want to give the permission to group. Okay, let's try with Sidhu. Otherwise, let me give. Okay, let's not confuse. Okay, click on next. I want to give the permission. What are the permissions to be given for all these three accounts? Let's say this is the account I am going to give to Siddharth. I mean, these accounts, my own accounts, child accounts. Where is that? This is my accounts. This is my accounts. So I am going to give, let's say, billing access. I am going to give. Okay, click on next. Click on submit. Yeah, that's all. This permission. Now, uh, this one I can give for this accounts. These two guys, they have the access to these accounts. Shruti AWS. Okay, what is the permission I want to give? I want to give, let's say, view only access, view only access, or only read only access I can give. Okay, click on next. Even I can give billing access as well. Okay, Shruti accounts, when the Sidhu and Surya they will log in for particularly these accounts, the AWS accounts, they will have access only for billing and read only access. Click on next. Click on submit. Yeah, it's taking time. Yeah. Now last account is my accounts, my management accounts. Here also I can go and assign this permission, these two users to my account is complete admin access. Click on next and submit. Yeah, that's all. Okay, that's all. Now you see it's provisions. This you can ignore. This account I'm not managing. So Siddharth, this is one account, only billing permission is given. So who are the user they can access to this account who is having only billing access, right? Sidhu and Surya. When they will access to this account, they have only billing permissions. When they will access to this account, they have billing and read only permissions. When they will access to this account, they have admin permissions. So let's try. So how will access? How will access these accounts? Go to your identity center here. Come here. Let me close this. Just avoid any confusions. Close this. Go to your identity center. Okay. Go to your setting. You see, this is the URL, AWS Access Portal URL. Let me log in this because when you enable and enable the identity center and change your identity source as identity center directory and create it, then this ID will be generated, the URL will be generated. And I have just changed the alias from D9F677805632 to Cloud Guru. That's all. To have a family, the friendly naming conventions, like a friendly way to remember the URL, right? Instead of remembering this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to access this. Now click on this. In a single console, I can manage multiple accounts. That is how. Now see the interface, the console looks different. Now let's say I'm accessing with it Sidhu. Click on next. It's asking the password. I think password, did I? No, I didn't save somewhere else. Then I have to change it. Go to user, click Sidhu. Okay. Password. I have to reset it. Go to your AWS accounts. This guy is assigned with these 3 accounts. I have to reset the password. Let's say generate one-time password. That's fine. Reset. Let me copy this. Okay. Let me copy it somewhere else. Uh, okay. Let me log in with the password. It's generated. It will ask for to change your password. New password I am giving. Let's say um, so checking. Let me generate a random password generator. Let's say 10 characters. Generate. So this is the password. I am going to change. You see? Now I'm going to log in. You see? Now, after enabling IAM Identity Center, I can able to manage 3 accounts with the same username and password. Am I using IAM accounts? No. Now the user what I'm creating, that is for IAM Identity Center, which now we don't care about IAM accounts. Here I can manage. See that. But this is one account, this is one AWS account, this is also one AWS account, this is also one AWS account. So who is the user? Sidhu is the user. Display name I have given ABC. That's fine. ABC is a user, or Sidhu you can say. ABC is my display name, display username. So when I log into this URL, I see all of my 3 account access is given to me. One account I got the billing access, other account I have billing and read only, and other last one is admin access. Now, if I log into these accounts, see read only access. Billing, if you want to see, you can log in this. It is someone accounts, but now I am able to monitor. See, now I am able to see someone consoles. Okay. Now, if you go your read only access, see, this is read only access. I'm clicking on over here. I am Sidhu, and my display name is showing as Sidhu. See, Sidhu. Okay, and it's openly showing it's read only access. Now, even I'll try to launch something. Even you see the account number. This is not my account. This is some other accounts. Okay, even I'll try to launch some machines. Launch machines. Test. There's something I want to launch. Okay, whatever. Just I'm clicking on launch. See, you are not authorized to perform this. The reason I have set a permission set that for this account, when Sidhu will access, he is having only read-only access. It is openly. Whatever permissions name you have given, it will reflect over here. Okay. Same like from here, one console, you can access to these accounts as well. See, you have complete access. Sidhu can do anything he wants because Sidhu is having complete permissions, full permission on these accounts. So the kind of permission set, you can set it over here and start accessing. So this is all about your identity center. And if you want to clean up, so what you have to do, you just come out. If you want to clean up, you want to come out first, whatever the group you have created, you can delete this groups. SSO. Okay. Now there is nothing to change over here. Okay, it's been already set. Now you go to your AWS accounts. Sorry, you can go to your permission set first because you have created permission set first, right? So whatever the accounts has been already associated with these permissions, you have to remove this. I mean, detach this. Click on detach policy. Same like you have billing. You go to first billing. You cannot delete directly unless you detach it. Okay, click on detach because it is associated with your users, right? So you have to clean up first. Click on, then view only access. There is policy name. You have to detach because this job, this managed policy has been already managed, permission set has been already attached. So you have to detach. Now go to it only, select this, detach policy. Yeah, that's done. Now you can delete. Still you cannot because it's associated with accounts. You have to remove this. Go to this accounts, permission set, select, remove. This you deassociate from the respective accounts and you cannot proceed. Now let's say these accounts, permission set, select this, remove. Similarly, last account is there. There is one. This will be given. Yeah, that's all. Permission. Now you can delete all this permission set. Still, it's not there. You have to clean up like this. Okay. There is nothing to do. Let's say this admin access. Control C. We similarly for billing. You have to clean up everything when you are doing practice. Now this one last. Yeah, that's all. Everything is done. So hope it's clear, right? What exactly is SSO? I mean, IAM Identity Center, on what scenario we are going to configure this, why you will configure. Okay. So this is all about your single sign-on, formerly called as single sign-on. Now we call it as IAM Identity Center. It's all about everything is all about your real-time scenario you have to implement as a very ideal architect. Yeah, that's all. We have covered all the scenario-based topics which are part of IAM, and the last one is the best practice. IAM best practice. Make sure when you are designing a AWS infrastructure, it could be a hybrid. It could be a greenfield project, or it could be a migration project. It could be a brownfield environments. So it could be a kind of hybrid environments, whatever. If there is to be a good architect, we have to design we have to design the security first. Like I am is the one of the core components, core service in the AWS, and everything we control with IAM and your organization control tower and landing zone. That is how the heart of the cloud, on particularly in AWS. Similarly, the terminology is different for Azure and Google. So, what are the best practice to be a good architect? What is the best practice you need to follow in the real-time environment? Enable multi-factor authentication for all users, which we have done the lab, right? How when it is required, how we are going to perform. Use IAM roles instead of IAM users. Okay, use IAM roles instead of IAM users, and apply the principle of least privilege. Like least privilege, you can give one example, permission boundary. There are a couple of examples, right? So don't come up with always maximum most privilege for any users they want to perform any task. Always come up with the least privilege. That is one of the best practice in the IAM. Rotate and manage IAM credentials securely. That is like in the password what they are using, you can set a rotate credentials like once in a 90 days, okay, or once in a month, once in 90 days, the kind of six standard organization follow. So you have to set a rotate credential policy and implement IAM permission boundaries. Use AWS IAM Identity Center, which we covered for centralized authentications. Instead of managing, let's say 50 accounts is there, you are not going to log into one by one to all accounts, right? It is hectic. It's really hectic and horrible. So we architect how we are going to. In the real time, SSO is mandatory. So to you, if you are a good architect, definitely you'll come up with this. AWS, you are going to enable or integrate this IAM Identity Center for centralized authentications to manage multiple accounts for enterprise level environment. And the permissions, the policy you can set on top of this organization levels. I mean, AWS organization level with organization unity and all. So monitor IAM activity with AWS logging and alerts. Like you can monitor all the stops when the monitoring logging section will start. You will get to know. Restrict root user access and monitor root account activity, because make sure that a root user is not being used for any accounts when someone is accessing. Everyone is accessing with their IAM accounts. I mean, or you can say the single sign-on accounts, SSO accounts. Use service control policy in AWS organizations. This part will implement in the lab. And when I'll cover the control tower, landing gen, and organizations. Okay, this is advanced layer of security than IAM. Okay, IAM policy. This is advanced layer of policy that is called security. This service control policy. And next one is use IAM conditions for enhanced security. We put the conditions wherever it is necessary, right? And use SCP in AWS organizations. So these are all about your best practices. Other than uh, so you can come up with lots of questions, open questions. Like I am here to help and cover all those stuffs here. So that's great. Finally, congrats for completing the sessions.